Well, Mike, we're on the last stage of our pond build here, and this involves laying the rock. I can see there's different size materials being utilized. Tell me a bit about this stone that goes into the pond.
About any rock native to Oklahoma would be okay to use, and it's going to come in different sizes. Any good rock yard you go to will be able to give you 1-man, 2-man, or 3-man boulders. And that means exactly what it says. 1 man can move these rocks. You want to have something like that if you're going to do the work. If you've got a professional coming in, he's got a piece of equipment that'll lift it, he'll use bigger rock.
Right.
And those are what you're going to see as character boulders out in the yard. But you're going to see irregular shaped rocks like this. What we want to try and get away from is this pearl necklace effect of all rocks the same size, all spread around the edge. Then finally you want to use river rock in the bottom, and in Oklahoma that's typically 1 to 1.5 inch rock that's been tumbled in the bottom of the river and is dredged up. Unfortunately, it contains a lot of dirt with it, so you're going to rinse that rock and clean it out and get rid of that dirty water instead of leaving it all in the pond at the same time. But you'll notice that they're doing this trying to establish a lack of a pattern. They're trying to make their rock laying random rather than all in a line, because you want to be able to have the water change direction based on where the rocks are. That's one of the things they're doing. They have piled rock around all of our shelves that we talked about earlier. That kind of denotes where you can walk in your pond. And very soon after you fill it up, those are going to all blend together. It's all going to get coated with a nice layer of algae. And that's beneficial to the pond, so we want that to be in there. And it makes everything kind of look like it belongs and it's natural. So we want random and irregular rocks spread throughout, and we want everything to be native to the area. It looks really strange in your yard if you have gray granite from Massachusetts in your Red Rock, Oklahoma yard. So we try and use native rock whenever possible.
Now in the waterfall area, there's some kind of key pieces in that. They have these larger slabs of rock where the water's going to fall. You notice they've got flat and almost level pieces, and they've saved those aside. They got them with all the rest of these rocks, but they save those aside to use in the waterfall so that you'd have a track for the water to fall over. They're also using a foam behind those rocks to keep the water running over the surface. You don't want the water to run under the rock, you want the water to run over the top. So we use an expanding foam. It's black, it's fish safe, and it goes in there, expands, then the water runs over the rock down into the pond the way we want it to. We'll also use that in the stream area so that when it hits a rock, it won't go behind it where you can't see it. We want it to come out and be in the stream bed where we want the water to run. I also noticed in the design they've left some little pockets where we can later come in and put some plants that don't mind having their feet wet. We would call those bog areas, and there are some. They'll be filled with gravel, small gravel, could even be pea-sized in a place like this. Not pea-sized in the pond, but up in a stream you could do that. And then use small pots or plant directly in that pea gravel as you do it, because you can get in there and work on all of those. That's going to help it look even more natural and break up the shoreline. That's one of the things we want to do, is try and make it blend into your landscape and not look like something we came in and built. As they finish up, they're going to bring some of these rocks out into the surrounding garden and help create that blend. We hope that it'll make it look more natural by doing that, and that way we keep it from being all piled up along the side here. They'll also tuck in all of this liner and clean up those edges, and then normally we'll mulch out in here to make it and hide the liner. Now, last season we did a number of segments on maintenance, and obviously once it's built, the work isn't finished. You have to do a little bit to maintain that garden, and all of those segments are available on our YouTube channel, so water gardeners can learn how to upkeep these systems. What you're going to want to think about is, as you fill this up, you're going to have a lot of dirt. Get rid of that water as much as possible. Get it filled up finally where it's as clean as you think you can get it. And then a couple of days later, you're going to need to clean your filters out, because those filters are going to grab all of that dirt that's floating in the water. You want to get it out of there so the filters can go to work growing bacteria to provide for the biological and mechanical filtration that you need in the pond. Then you can add your fish back in. All right, well, this has been a wonderful process. Thank you so much for joining us. Certainly.